We're back, recruitment funding 1 year on. Today it's not a first for Giant Finance, but it is a first for Rich Berrisford from Giant Finance. Rich has been supporting recruitment businesses with funding and back office for a good few years now. I've known him for a good few years too. Giant Finance, correct me if I'm wrong, Rich, but a exclusive provider to the recruitment market for payroll, back office, timesheet funding. Today we're going to talk about, it's a good one actually, it's a key change to the sales process that's happened, I guess, over the last year and how the sales process has adapted in that time. So Rich, look, thanks for coming on, welcome, first of many I hope, and tell us, I guess, introduce yourself, but also tell us, let's talk about this key change and what you're going to talk about really.
Yeah. Hi Simon. Thanks for having me. You've sort of done the introduction for me. Been at Giant Finance Plus for about 18 months or so now, but within the industry for more years than I care to mention.
So you've been with Giant for the majority of COVID, then, really?
Yeah, that's true. So I started at the beginning of 2020, and then it was sort of March when it all kicked off with COVID. So it's been an interesting start to my time at Giant. But
so your sales process has been pretty much getting used to it, coming on board in January, getting used to it, and then sort of April, May, COVID comes. Your sales process has been the COVID sales process, I guess.
It has, yeah. Do you know what? We were in a really good position anyway before this happened in terms of getting staff set up with remote working. So we've already done a lot of the groundwork, which was great. But we've obviously since had everybody working from home for the most part, and that's obviously come with its own challenges.
Well, when Rich came on about a year ago, right at the start, Rich Foster, he was saying that one of the big problems is that he had to go to the office every day because there wasn't a post box on the wall, so he had to go and meet the postman to get the checks and things like that. And I can remember it clearly. So how things have changed.
The little logistical issues like that, but in terms of the sales process.
So what are you going to? What has changed from? I guess one key change to the sales process that you've noticed, because you've been in industry longer than before Giant, so you kind of know the normal process. And what's changed? Is it for the good, for the bad, and what's different?
Well, it's a bit of both actually. Obviously, ideally before this happened, the normal process, we like to meet our clients face to face. That's the way it's always been done.
So important.
Because that's how you build relationships, build that rapport. Just go and meet face to face and have that conversation. And I guess there's two main reasons for that. The first, build that relationship, get to know your client. But also, you want to go and check out the premises and just meet them and say that you can do the ID.
Look them in the eyes, they often say, don't they? Just look them in the eyes.
Get the whites of the eyes. Get a measure of the person. That's always really good. And it's been difficult not being able to do that over the past year. But obviously we're doing.
So what have you done? How's it changed?
It's been online. It's starting to sort of come back around, and we can get out there a little bit more now. But for the past year, it's been Zoom meetings, Zoom demos, all done online video.
Talk me through the process of a potential prospect, how that starts, to prospect saying yes, to credit policy, to getting it signed off and getting it live without seeing them at all. It's all a bit different. So it's key to book in an online meeting as early as possible, in my opinion. To have that initial conversation. We can do demos of our systems online and have those conversations. But a lot of it is similar. In you mentioned the sort of the credit checking process and client checking, that sort of thing. We can still do all that in the same way that we always used to. But it's just harder to build that relationship, and it's harder if it's if it's someone that you don't have that existing relationship with, to get them in those first few minutes. Absolutely.
If you're with them in person, you're having a beer or a coffee or whatever it may be, and you can take your time and just have a chat about anything and everything. Whereas online, people are doing other things. People have got 1,000 things to do, and quite often they're multitasking while they're chatting to you on a video, which is quite off-putting at times.
So you absolutely, it's a massive change. But so you talk to them, you agree, and you do it on the Zoom or the Teams, and then you send documents through. How does that process work?
So we've been using sort of posted documents for a while, but over the last few months we've actually got our sort of online signature process.
Brilliant. I can see that's where a lot of the market's going as well now.
Exactly. Absolutely, and it's moving that way, and this is sort of giving us that impetus to sort of
do it.
To make that step and get this in place, because a lot of people expect that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think this day and age, you've got to have the online signing capability, because you're not always going to be able to get out there to deliver the paperwork or to send it via post, and it speeds things up.
It just makes it so much easier, and it's a bit more at the same time. So we fast forwarded a year. Giant have basically done, like a lot of them, Zoom meetings, documents going out, everything virtual, not meeting a client. You verify ID. How do you verify passports and driving licenses, etc.?
Well, the simple way is just to ask them to hold it up in front of them.
The camera, yeah, I've heard that before.
Then you've got that sort of eye line view of it. We've got Giant screening is our sort of screening process. We use that as well.
Yeah,
so we pull that into play, and it's a really fast turnaround. We can do the AML checks, we do the ID checks online, things like same day. So that's really useful for us, and it's really great for our clients as well, because it means that we can get them onboarded, as quick or if not quicker than you.
Do it quickly. So let's fast forward. We're coming out, hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm going for my first pub tonight. We're in Wales, so we're only just opened. And we fast forward 6 months, things are back to normal. The process will be back to normal. It will be slightly changed back to normal. So you'll be going out, you'll be doing DocuSign, or what does it look like?
I think it'll be a bit of both. I can't wait to get out and about, to be honest, to go and meet people again and networking events. Going and just having a chat with people and getting a sort of taste of the market. But there'll also be online meetings, because people are busy. People will see that this is now a really workable technology. It works really well. And there's no reason to travel 200 miles for a potential meeting that may come to nothing. If we can do the initial one on Zoom, let's save the mileage, save the planet, and go out and meet them when it's necessary.
Or the other way around, you go out for the initial meeting and then you do the doc second. So, guys, I remember my days of doing 400 miles a day and literally loving it in the car and singing along. But you go out to do the first meeting, you go out to do this potentially sometimes a second meeting, you then go out to do the sign up. So before you know it, you've potentially done 3 meetings, and actually if you can create that rapport and then do the rest virtually, it's just going to cut down. So look, it sounds like the way. I think there's going to, like you say, I think there's going to be a bit of both, utilizing technology because we've been pushed to, but actually now it works and we can see it works. But actually also getting back out there and seeing clients and meeting up and having some socials and coffees and beers and just building relationships with people, which is what this is all about. So Rich, actually great quality to have you on. First time, absolutely smashed it. First take as well, which I'll actually say to everyone else, which is great. An expert, watch out for you. Thanks for joining us, and I'm sure we'll have you back on soon.
Great. Thanks for having me, Simon.
Cheers, Rich. See you later. Bye. Bye-bye.